Once I guess. Hi guys, how you doing? Shock advice.
Stories of the ER that doctors never talk about.
Nice
All of a
mom.
sudden, the doors burst open. An alligator snapping turtle. The thing is seemingly very upset, and every time we go near it, it hisses. If it punctured the carotid, Bo could bleed out in about 4 minutes and die.
Cool.
Coverage of Hurricane Blair on WPKW10.
They're saying the first bounds of the hurricane are 2 to 3 hours away, and it's headed right for us. The tension builds as the hurricane gets closer.
Mine is calling me. Can't you see it?
Craig, are you feeling pain anywhere in your body? I try to have a conversation with this patient, but he just really can't focus on me.
Am I in heaven? Are you an angel?
The chainsaw is truly actually embedded into his neck.
I guess I could say I've prepared myself for seeing something like that, but physically actually seeing it is a whole different story.
Something catastrophic could occur. Oh wow. The real concern is that the chainsaw is holding pressure against the major blood vessel in the neck.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes, James!
These are the untold stories of the ER. Dr. Bob Slay's ER staff knows they can come to him for advice, both medical and personal.
It's my son's 8th birthday next weekend, and I wanted to get him a pet, but I can't decide which kind.
Listen, I'm going out on a limb here, but how about a dog?
Oh, no, too much work.
Turtle? Doesn't get much easier than that. Turtle or tortoise is pretty low maintenance.
Ambulance is here. Turtle bite.
I said, turtle bite? How bad can that be? I'm picturing some kid getting bitten by a turtle on the finger when all of a sudden the doors burst open.
Did somebody just get this out of me?
And there is a lot of confusion and noise.
Oh, well, if you'd stop moving, Bo.
And in come 3 boys who had obviously been partying, one of whom seems to have a large object attached to his body.
How'd you stop moving? You're just too old and still. I was supposed to hold still for walking.
That large object is what we call an alligator snapping turtle.
Hold the cardboard.
The other 2 guys put a piece of cardboard
You hold the cardboard. I'm gonna get a picture.
between the turtle and the patient to keep it from scratching him. His friends are making smart comments. They're trying to take pictures. All kinds of things are happening at once. The nurses, the techs are all there looking.
I'm not hurting turtle. Who cares about the damn turtle?
No one can believe what we're actually seeing. Let's hold off on the pictures, boys, so I can attend to your friend. A snapping turtle can snap your finger clean off. It can bite through a broomstick. This is a serious bite. Let's go to Bay 5. Bay 5.
Why can't you just get her off?
I have already made the decision that one thing I'm not going to do is go near that snapping turtle at this particular moment. Bo, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we're going to move Bo off the gurney over to this other bed, okay? Just do it very carefully, very carefully.
Tanner, I'm holding it.
Oh,
All right, come on now.
Nice and slow, nice and slow. There you are, there you are. Okay. How did all this happen?
Well, we were out noodling for catfish and we found a hole with a turtle in it. When it turned to try to dig in, Bo pulled it out by its tail.
And they tried to get a picture with it.
Yeah, said never seen one that big before.
So he's holding it for a picture. Suddenly, and they can extend their necks the length of their shell. He's holding it here. It shoots its neck out and gets him right here and clamps down.
Sure wanted a picture taken with it then.
Doctor, the pain's killing me.
Heart rate's 110, BP's 150 over 90.
He's flailing and moving.
Stop squirming then.
You just lift your tongue.
So we give Bo a little bit of lorazepam to calm him down. Let's just settle down. Let me take a little better look here. I cautiously take a look at this turtle. The thing is seemingly very upset. Its eyes are open. It's kind of looking around. And every time we go near it, it hisses.
Why don't we just cut his head off?
No, we don't want to cut his head off. The head will just keep going. I've seen it happen before. It was just a finish.
Jackson!
This particular bite is in the area of the carotid artery and the internal jugular vein. So if we got it upset and it started clamping and biting harder, it could injure the carotid. And if it punctured the carotid, Bo could bleed out in about 4 minutes and die. And controlling an injury like that in the ER is extremely difficult, if not impossible.
When are you just gonna get this thing off?
You need a vascular surgeon to fix something like that. We need to get this turtle off of Bo's neck.
Well, if none of this would have happened.
That obviously is what we're going to have to do.
My arm's killing me.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, but I'm fine just having a damn turtle cracked to my neck.
Pretty much.
Doc, you got a plan?
I have no clue as to how to do this. No clue at all.
For emergency physician Ruthie Kreider, the challenges of her job include working in a hurricane zone.
Hey, let's make sure those trauma kits are stocked up and bring in a couple more ventilators. They're saying the first bounds of the hurricane are 2 or 3 hours away, and it's headed right for us.
Coverage of Hurricane Blair on WGKW-10.
We know exactly where it's going to make landfall. The community that I'm working in is going to be the one that's hit.
We'll keep you posted with special bulletins as the storm progresses.
When a hurricane is approaching, it's a very anxiety-provoking situation. It's tuned for the ready for discharge. Thanks. One of the preparations for a hospital during a hurricane is to try to get all the potential patients that need to be discharged out of the hospital. And we need to do this so that the patients don't get caught in the storm. A housekeeping supervisor just called. He was about to send a bunch of staff home. He saw one of them had a rash and wants to know if he could send her down. Sure, send her down.
Light is calling me. Can't you see it?
The neighbor spotted him stumbling around in his front yard. Neighbor said his name is Craig.
Craig, I'm Dr. Kreider. Do you know where you are right now?
Storm's coming. There's not much time.
The patient is agitated. He's making some clawing in the air. And I can tell he's very confused and almost delirious.
Did the neighbor say anything else?
Just that he's never been like this before.
Apparently the neighbor had seen him normal just a couple hours before as they were trying to prepare their homes for the storm.
Give him a bay one.
We have to hurry.
All my
1, 2, 1. Oh,
470 pounds of hardened steel and polished chrome.
They're outrageous machines that are fun to ride.
A tricked out, custom-made dream machine.
They're totally original. From the ground up, nothing like them in the world.
A father.
Get on it.
A son.
Nobody put more time in here than me.
And the 45-day battle to build the ultimate American chopper.
Let's do this.
3 years ago, Paul Tuttle and his son, Paul Jr., turned a part-time hobby of building motorcycles into a full-time business.
Orange County Choppers builds custom bikes from the ground up, and basically we started in my basement at my house. And today we're building bikes for all types of people, rock stars, pro baseball players, and on and on.
We specialize in theme bikes. Our bikes cost anywhere between $30,000 and $100,000. We build about 12 to 15 choppers a month.
Our name right now in the industry is like just the big 12. Every magazine you pick up, we're either on the cover or inside, it's Orange County Choppers, Orange County Choppers.
Right now we're considered one of the best in the business. And the hardest thing is I'm always trying to top myself.
Orange County Choppers has decided to enter the Motorcycle Design Contest at Laconia Bike Week, the oldest motorcycle festival in the U.S. But they'll only have 45 days to complete their custom chopper.
I'm thinking theme bike, because that seems to be where we're at. I decided to build a bike for Laconia because it's a pretty popular event, and it also draws a lot of the big builders.
I got some ideas for what we can do. I was thinking we can build a jet bike. Go with that theme. I have some ideas for that.
Guess we can go with that.
Once we settled on the jet fighter theme, we figured it would be good to do some research. So I decided to go check out the jets on the deck of the USS Intrepid. When a jet is sitting there, it almost looks like it's moving because the wings are slightly tilted back and the cockpit is rounded, and you get the same effect out of the bike.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Tank, the tight lines where it looks like when it's sitting on the floor, it's actually moving. Might make a bomb oil tank with these fins, so it really pulls off the bomb look. The objective is to get this bike from the front to the rear to look like a jet and to really have things proportioned.
What do you mean?
This is what we're looking for right here. This kind of plated and riveted look, but I think what we're going to do is go with like a shiny metallic blue paint. I need people to see it and say, wow, that looks like an F-16 fighter jet.
Every motorcycle, no matter what shape, size, or design, starts with the frame. Orange County Choppers designs their own frames, which are manufactured off-site to their strict specifications.
With this frame here, you can see that the line from the neck to the axle is one nice...
Gotcha, I get it now.
We're looking for a very aerodynamic look. This frame's a little different from what we usually use. It's a 10-inch backbone instead of 5. So what we're going to have to do is stretch the tank to fit this to get a nice extended look. We have a single down tube. This is 1 3/8 tube that we use. It helps quite a bit in the vibration of the bike. It doesn't look like much now, but it's vital to the theme that we're trying to pull off.
For the next 8 hours, Paul Jr. bends, bangs, and bullies the tank into shape.
There it is. We just gained 6 inches in the tank. And
That's how it goes. Ah, okay.
welded into place, Paul Jr. begins to
You
fabricate
see what
the
that
top of the
dumbass
cockpit
is?
out of sheet metal.
Jesus.
The cockpit.
I think his gift is fabricating. It allows him to be creative, and he's extremely talented.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it looks good. Stealth.
Time for a little R&R.
It's day 12, and Paul Jr. is swinging iron instead of cutting steel.
Today I went golfing because I thought that it would be nice to take a break from building the bike. Oh, I shanked it. Sometimes you have to take a break and get away from it.
Yeah, where's Paulie and Mitch? Paulie's carefree attitude compared to my attitude, that's one of the biggest conflicts that we have. It bothers me that he doesn't take things as seriously as I'd like to, but it's like running into a wall.
Yeah, where are you guys? Call me as soon as you get this message.
But when Paulie's out golfing
Oh, you're the best.
and there's work to be done, that's when the heat is on.
And you know what? To build up a routine, you just show up when you want to show up.
What are you talking about? Nobody puts more time in here than me. Dad, you come down to ours.
Paulie, you know, he'll come and go as he wants, you know, and go and play golf, and he'll never take anything serious.
Okay, you know what? I slacked off. I don't do anything around here. Is that what you want to hear?
You expect everybody to do the stuff that you don't want to.
Like what? What are you talking about?
And his dad gets real mad, but he has a good reason, because if you let Paulie stray away, he kind of just loses the whole vision on what we're doing.
You don't get involved in anything that you got to get your hands dirty with.
My father has very high expectations. He has an idealistic way. He wants things done, and it's his way or the highway.
Get on it. Get on it.
Thank you, man. Take some Geritol.
He's golfing, and I'm still busting my ass after 29 years. You know what I'm saying? Everything you see here is the fruit of my labor. It's not his.
He told me I'm handling it.
98% of it, you handle the other 2%.
Anytime we argue, it's always what he would do. There's never an argument when that's not the focus. You don't paint. How do you know what it takes to paint a bike like that?
Doesn't make any difference. I said I'll take care of it.
Paulie and I could be screaming at each other in 1 second,
I don't care what you're talking about.
and then in the next second we could be laughing about something. And I think that's just because sometimes you get caught up in the pressure of things, and then when you take time to really look at it, it's just not that big of a deal.
The third week of the jet bike project begins with Paul Jr.'s fabrication of 2 missiles to be mounted beneath the fuel tank.
Well, when you're building a bike like this one, a theme bike, it's very important to be able to try and find things to work with to save on time, because time's a real main factor here. So what I did was, for the missiles of the bike, I had some 50 caliber rounds and basically modified them, and that saved me a lot of time because, you know, I didn't have to work from scratch. I had something to work off of.
But despite his efforts to save time, the project is behind schedule. There is a chance that the jet bike will not be ready in time for the Laconia Motorcycle Design Contest.
Paulie's adding a lot of things to this bike, missiles and whatnot, you know, and I was a little concerned from the beginning about this project, and now I'm really starting to get a little worried about it.
By day 19, Paul Jr. is ready to assemble the parts that he has completed and mock up the jet bike.
Let's rock and roll.
The mock-up is one of my favorite phases of building a bike, because after all the cut and welding and grinding is done,
Be fun.
So at this point,
A process that should have taken less than 2 hours eats up the entire afternoon,
So I have to do this all day.
causing the project to fall even further behind schedule.
What do you think, Pop?
So you see it.
nice for effect, you know.
Using a that's the reason sense. Little sense.
This is probably the worst time something like this could happen with the fenders. It ended up taking me all day. It's just frustrating.
With the dilemma of the fender behind them,
Who's this? Think it's Nub there? He's gonna be here at 8 o'clock.
the OCC crew faces a new problem.
Don't tell me 8 o'clock if you're not gonna be here at 8 o'clock.
This time with their painter, Nub Graphics.
Listen, you know what? I am too. Here I am, putting money in your pocket, and you're treating me like I'm just somebody off the street over here.
The conflict with Nubs was that he didn't show up when he was supposed to when my father called a meeting. And that kind of thing really twists my father the wrong way.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you make a commitment or not? It's 9 o'clock. Where are you? When you're working with outside vendors, sometimes you don't have total control of what's going on. I've had it. You know what I mean? Why are you dealing with it? With this paint situation with Nubs, I'm a little concerned because lately they've been dropping the ball. So, you know, we're looking for an alternate plan. Evidently, we have problems here. Where to start, I don't really know, other than that we know that you're not happy and we're not happy. We had a strong concern about them being able to complete the project. So when they got here and we had a discussion, it was pretty heated.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm not gonna wait until everything blows up and everybody's banging into each other.
I know Nub is perfectly capable of painting a bike of this caliber, but my concern is that he has too much work that we've already given him to be able to get this bike done in time.
Well, listen, you guys can do this hard work. I got somebody who'll do this caliber work up better. Fine.
After nearly an hour of discussion and assurances by Nub Graphics that they can meet the deadline, it's agreed that they will paint the jet bike.
I want to measure for the length of the handlebars.
But the handlebars on the jet bike, the concern was the reach.
Put your hand straight up. Try to maybe put your back. Wherever you're going to think you're going to be riding.
Because of the long stretch in the backbone, you had to get them at a length where your arms were comfortable when you were sitting on the bike.
Also, I have to find out how high my rise has got to be. My two main concerns with the handlebars were, one, that they swept with the pitch of the tank nicely. That's 8 right there. I go 8. I'll be an inch and an eighth off the top. But I'll be out of here.
You feel like
And 2, that it didn't sweep bars back the right length.
Two 30-inch long sections of 1 1/4-inch steel pipe will be shaped to form the handlebars.
appreciate it.
The first bend is approximately 87 degrees and will provide the lift that is required to clear the jet bike's custom fuel tank. A second bend of 20 degrees gives the bars their width.
The most difficult part of the process in building the handlebars.
They look better like that. I'm really concerned at this point about getting the bike done on time, especially with my son. You know, at this point now he's adding, you know, a few additional things to the bike. You know what I mean? And basically he's been dragging his feet, and it's really getting me aggravated. I don't know. The bars, that's enough.
The deadline for the Laconia Motorcycle Design Contest is fast approaching, and the jet bike is far from finished. As he enters the 5th week of construction, Paul Jr. begins fabricating the seat pan.
A seat pan is a shallow pan made metal that goes between the tank and the rear fender that will be covered with foam and leather to make up your seat. It's all good. You have to be very precise with it. You have to be perfect. If you're not perfect, then I got to throw this seat pan out. My father's going to bug.
Can I say something? Is all you're gonna do is do that seat pan today, that's it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Paulie's attitude towards his time schedule is just like his attitude towards his work ethics, which is generally whatever.
You want to do it?
Typically, he's always dragging his feet, and sometimes I really don't think he gets it. You want me to do it? I'll do it. You think I can't do it? I can do it. So, Yeah, you want me to do it? Done already.
That's my point. So you really don't have a clue when it comes to that stuff. You really don't. So as long as it takes me to do that, it's how long it takes me. That's the bottom line.
So then don't ask me for my input, all right?
I didn't ask you for your input. You said all you're going to do is that seat today? I didn't ask you to say that. My father gripes a lot about me working slow, but I think that if he really has a problem, he should get up and, try doing some of this stuff himself and see how long it actually takes. A lot of what I'm doing is one-offs, one of a kind, so you have to really take your time and go through the process, because to screw up's really not an option at this point in time because we're on such a deadline. My father's starting to freak out about this whole project.
Tell me that 45 days, not 45 months.
If he wants it right, he's going to have to get off my back a little bit. I mean, this kind of thing takes time. And I have enough pressure as it is.
It takes all day to complete the fabrication. The completed seat pan will be sent to Danny Gray to be padded and covered with leather.
I hope that seat fits better on that bike than it does in that box.
It was good, Pop. You got some tape? You want to help me out? I wouldn't call it a love-hate relationship because that sounds very drastic.
I guess you don't have no tape. Thanks, Pop.
There's never any hate there, just
Appreciate that.
maybe some severe disagreements where it could get pretty nasty sometimes. But I think it's to be expected. I think that any father and son team usually has their share of problems. Don't worry about getting up, Pop. I'll get the door. So, bang head sometimes.
While the OCC crew continues the battle to build the jet bike, 50 miles away at Total Performance Engineering, technicians are assembling the motorcycle's custom engine. This 130 horsepower V-twin motor, machined from aluminum, will propel the jet bike from 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds.
It's absolutely critical that motor is designed with care and understanding of how the whole entire bike is going to work. If it doesn't work, what's the point? Horsepower means nothing if it's in the garage.
Right on this lift right here, fellas. Beautiful.
Gotta go. See ya. Tom's ready.
Morning. I always had the idea to do the bomb oil tank. The key to pulling off something like a bomb oil tank is it has to function properly. It has to look good, but it also has to go down the road. If something happens in the oil tank, where if I make it wrong and the motor doesn't get oil, we're going to burn up the motor. So, there's a delicate balance of form and function.
After 2 days of design and fabrication, the custom oil tank is finished.
That's the bomb.
Although only 2 weeks remain until the contest, Paul Jr. has decided to create yet another design element for the jet bike.
I like this. This is going to be hot.
Do you know what a wheelie bar looks like?
How are you going to do this?
He doesn't even know what it looks like.
For me? Do I have to, duplicate something someone else did? No. What do you think, I've never seen a wheelie bar? Listen, this is...
Yeah, I think you've never seen a wheelie bar.
One is going to be like this, straight, and this one's going to come like this down.
Paul's going to be putting a wheelie bar on this bike, which we really have not done that before. A wheelie bar actually stops the bike from flipping over backward when you do a wheelie. You know what? If that thing's not done by tomorrow, there's going to be hell to be paid. I'm telling you right now. When I come in tomorrow morning, that damn thing's better be done.
The Laconia deadline put me under a fair amount of pressure. I think more probably pressure from my father than anything else. Wheelie bar confrontations because For the most part, it was more how long it was taking me to pull off what I was trying to do as opposed to how long my father thought it should take.
I think that he bit off a little bit more than he could chew by doing this wheelie bar, and I'm concerned about the time. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if we're going to make Laconia.
The wheelie bar seemed like it took forever. Well, I figured it might take me a half a day, but it took me about a good 8 hours. It just took a lot longer than I thought it would.
By the next morning, the wheelie bar is complete, but it has taken up precious time, a commodity that is now in short supply.
I spent all night making this wheelie bar, so if people around here don't like it, they can try and do it themselves, because it wasn't as easy as I thought.
On day 33, Paul Jr. begins the last fabrication for the bike.
I decided to put 2 fins on the fender to look like an F-16 tail section. You know, give it some kind of a wing feel. And I started to apply them to the rear fender. Tobin! Come over here and look at these things, man. And I came into some problems with the angle. Look at it from the back. Are they the same pitch? It's just a pain in the butt trying to get them to match up and getting them to look just right so that they would still flow with the bike, but they still look like tail section fins. 3.5. Sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want it right away, and you have to change things and make it work. This whole thing has to come in 1/8. We got to start the whole process over again. The fins were another wheelie bar situation. I mean, they took a lot longer than I thought they would. That's not too bad. Better? When things are in raw metal, it's hard to see what they're actually going to look like after it's a finished product. So everybody had their own opinion on how the fins looked at first.
I think you should lower it and look at it at a different moment.
But if everyone in the shop doesn't like it as it seems they don't, I really don't care because I know it's going to look good.
Originally, the fins on the bike, I wasn't too enthused about.
They're pretty good.
But as the bike is being developed and he has them on the bike, they're pretty impressive.
Today we're going to be breaking down the bike, cleaning it up, basically getting it prepped for paint and chrome and everything else. It's out here today.
Piece by piece, part by part, the jet bike is disassembled. What took 33 days to build is broken down in a matter of hours.
After we break down the bike, we have to do final cleanup on the parts. Grinding, sanding, smoothing things over. Basically, for the painter's sake, helps them to get things done a little quicker, and it really lets them focus on the paint job itself. The painting process begins when they bring us the tanks. They're bare, metal form. All of them need body work. The jet bike needed more work because of the cockpit. That all had to get molded in. You know. The Bondo all gets sanded after it's put on totally smooth. Sometimes you need 2 or 3 days to do all their body work. And then the actual paint part begins. With a bike like the jet bike and the artwork that's on it, this spot right here, there were 111 rivets. And the pressure of making the deadline, it gets stressful sometimes. I think the final design and look of the bike is awesome. I think it looks great. I don't ever want to do it again.
Looks like a model, doesn't it?
That's what I said. I felt like I was building a model.
Yeah, it really does. My reaction to Nub's work is he's incredible because he free paints. He doesn't lay anything out. And if you look at that jet bike, how uniform everything is, it's like I can't even conceive how somebody can do that. It just blows my mind. It'll all be coming together now.
Won't be long now.
After nearly 6 weeks, the jet bike is finally ready to assemble. But with only 4 days until the Laconia Design Contest, meeting the deadline is anything but certain.
It'll probably take about 3 or 4 days to assemble the jet bike. Normally, on a bike with less fabrication, it would only take us about a day. But with something...
Alright guys, see ya.